I don't know about you guys, but when I first got my Tesla, I remember running through all the settings when I sat down in the car, and I'm thinking to myself, man, there is so much stuff that I don't know what to turn on. I don't know what to turn off. What are the best settings? So I sat down, I went through all of my settings. So for anyone looking to buy a Tesla or for anyone who just bought one, go ahead and sit down, lock in. This video's for you. I'm gonna run through all my best settings, what I have on, what I turned off, and we're gonna go ahead and jump in. Let's do it. When you first take delivery of your car, you're gonna go ahead and go through an initial setup, which is pretty cool. If you watch my first video when I took delivery of my car, you get to see a little bit and a glimpse of that. But when you go ahead and finish, it's gonna also ask you to create a profile. So that's where we're gonna go ahead and start. So up here, you can see I have my name, my wife's name. So when I click on my name, all of my settings are gonna be tailored to me. And then when my wife gets in the car, she can have all her settings tailored to her. You know, the seat adjustment, steering wheel adjustment, mirrors, and all that kind of stuff. But also like your Apple Music and everything else that's tied to your account, which is pretty cool. Now we're gonna go ahead and start. We're gonna go ahead and click here. We're gonna go ahead and start at controls. So my lights, I have them set to auto, so that way it turns on at night, turns off in the afternoon or in the morning. My mirrors, if you go ahead and fold them, you can go ahead and click that. It'll fold your mirrors. Child lock, I went ahead and locked the right because that's where my son sits. You can choose either or both if you wanted to do that. Window lock, I do have it on because sometimes he messes with the windows and just opens and closes them all the time. Glove box, self-explanatory. You click on the glove box and your glove box will open, which is pretty cool. Now, your windshield wipers, this is right here, 1 through 4 is the speed adjustments, and then you can set it to auto when it senses rain. Me personally, I just have it off, and then whenever it starts to rain, I actually like to click it on my steering wheel because there is a designated button for that, and then from there you can use your scroll wheel to move up and down through the various speeds. Now your mirrors, this is where you adjust them if you need to, left, right. I have all of my stuff set to auto there. And then for your steering, the same thing. You click on it, you adjust your steering wheel to your liking there. Sentry mode, this is how you turn it on. You click on that, Sentry mode will turn on, and you'll be able to go ahead and look at all of the footage and live footage through your phone if you have premium connectivity on. Now, car wash mode, if you click on that, I turn it on every time I wash my car. That way all of my windows lock and the charging port locks as well, so that way when I touch it and go over it with the wash mitt, it doesn't open. And then to exit pretty much car wash mode, once you enter it, just go ahead and hit exit. Or if you drive, I think it was over 10 miles an hour, it'll shut off on its own. This right here is your screen brightness settings right here. I usually have mine set to auto, and usually during the day and at night it'll kind of fluctuate depending on where it's supposed to be. I usually don't touch that, but right now it looks like it's at 100%. Next, we're gonna move into dynamics. Now, acceleration, you can either hit chill mode or standard. I have mine on standard. Chill mode is a little bit less fun, like your acceleration isn't there, it's not as fast.
Daddy, chill.
Personally, if you're getting a Tesla, like you love the adrenaline of just like stepping on the gas and going, that's why I like it. So chill mode is not for me, but standard is where mine is at. Steering wheel weight, I have mine set to standard. When you go to heavy, it makes it a little bit more stiff. When you go to light, it makes it a little bit less lighter when you're steering, and a little bit less turning and stuff like that. Actually, when you're doing a 3-point turn, it does make it a little bit easier if it's on light because the steering wheel just moves and glides, which is pretty cool. Apply brakes for when regenerative braking is limited. I have that turned on. Now for auto shift, at first I had it off, but what's pretty cool is that once you have this on and you put your seatbelt on, all you have to do is hit the brakes, hit the gas pedal, and then you can see on your screen that it'll pretty much set you in reverse, and then you can go ahead and reverse. And then when you're ready to go, you turn the wheel, hit the brakes just a little bit, hit the gas pedal, and then you're ready to go. I found this to be a little bit easier also when you're doing 3-point turns because you don't have to touch the screen, scroll up to go, scroll back to reverse. This just makes it a little bit easier, but make sure you're paying attention to if you're going forward or in reverse, because sometimes when you're parked, it might put you in drive mode, so you don't want to go ahead and hit someone in front of you if you think you're going to go in reverse. Now we're gonna go ahead and move into charging. Now I did leave mine at the 80% that's recommended for Tesla. I didn't go down a rabbit hole, you know, what's the best settings for this and what's the best settings for that. 80% was perfectly fine with me. If I'm doing longer trips, you know, 90 or 100%, you can go ahead and charge it up to that. One recommendation I do have is that if you're going to charge it to 100%, don't leave it out in the sun or don't leave it sitting at 100% for too long. Just make sure you're ready to go once it's fully charged at that 100%. Now for charging at this location, I have mine set at 32 amps. Right here it does say 48 because I'm at my parents' house, but once I plug in, it goes to 32 amps and it remembers what I set it for. That's usually what I charge at night. I don't like to max it out, but that's just me personally. Now, if you scroll down, if you hit schedule, I'll talk about that a little bit later because if I click it now, it'll change me to the settings for that. But as you keep scrolling, low power mode, you can set it to auto. Usually when I'm at that 20% mark, which I'm never really am, it'll go ahead and switch to low power mode so that way you can get a little bit more juice out of your battery. Now for keep accessory power on, I went ahead and turned that off. I don't need that to be on. I like it on standby mode when I get in the car, so I just go ahead and leave that off. Now for autopilot, here I have FSD turned on, and then start FSD, supervised from park, and then you can do brake to confirm or turn that off if you need to, but that's my settings. FSD is phenomenal. I'll go ahead and talk about that in another video. I'm just waiting to get version 14 so I can do it all at once, but if you haven't tried it, go ahead and try it because that thing is amazing. Now as I keep going down, I usually have it on standard or hurry depending on how I'm feeling and I'm driving on the highway. But what I notice is on chill mode, it tends to be all the way on the right side going a little bit slow. Standard is usually in the middle lane, and then hurry, it's usually pushing you all the way to the left lane trying to go fast and maxing out your speed limit depending on how fast you set it for. My max offset speed, I left it the same at 40%. Expanded full self-driving visualization, I did turn that on. Actually smart summon, I have it on. It's pretty cool. Like when you're in your phone and you go ahead and hit summon, all you have to do is hold the button, the car will come to you. I went ahead and tried that in a few places, and you can see people's head just turning and looking at you like, man, this is crazy that it's actually driving by itself. Now for speed limit warning, I went ahead and left that on display. Speed limit, I have it turned off. I don't have anything turned on for my speed limit. As we keep scrolling down, forward collision warning, I have mine set to medium, and then lane departure avoidance, I have it set to warning. So pretty much when you have it on warning, it'll kind of vibrate your steering wheel a little bit. If you have it off, it doesn't let you know, and then assist will assist you in staying in the lane. Emergency lane departure avoidance, I have that turned on, and everything else under that, I have it turned on. It's pretty cool to have the green light chime turned on, because if I'm talking to my son or if I'm looking back, I can hear the little chime, I know it's a green light, and I can go, and no one's really honking at me if I'm staying in the lane for too long. Obstacle awareness acceleration, I haven't ran into this or what it's going to do, but essentially what it says is it's going to apply the brakes if any obstacle is detected in front of your vehicle. I haven't had that happen to me yet, but I do have that turned on in case that ever happens. So moving along, we're going to go ahead into locks. This is where you can add all your keys, your key fobs. Again, child lock is also right here. Window locks are also right here. Walk away door lock, I have that turned on. Driver door unlock mode, I have it turned off because what I notice is that if my wife gets to my car first, it doesn't unlock her side. It's waiting for me to unlock my door, and then I have to hold the unlock button on my side to unlock everybody else's door. So I personally don't like that. I just have that turned off. Hands-free trunk is pretty cool. I have that turned on. So on the new Highland models and Model Y, when you have this turned on, if you stand behind your car near the trunk, you'll hear a couple beeps and then the trunk will open, and then you can go ahead and hit the button to close it. Now for unlock to park, I have that turned on as well. As we keep scrolling down, car left open notifications, I have that turned on for doors and windows. Lock confirmation sound, I went ahead and changed that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then close windows on lock, I have that turned on as well. Now we're gonna go ahead and go into lights. Now mine again set to auto, turn signals, auto to cancel, which is pretty cool. Once you click it once and you turn into your lane, it will turn off. Adaptive headlights, I have it turned on, which is pretty cool because it'll individually dim certain pixels of your light depending on traffic, and it'll adjust the headlights for the curves and stuff like that from what it says there. Headlights after exit, I turn that on as well. All right, scrolling down, dome lights, I have it set to auto. Footwell lights, I have that turned off, but you can turn those on, and it's pretty much where your feet are. You can have that light on or off depending on how you want it. Accent lights, I have it set to night only. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but the brightness, I usually have it set to 50% from what I have it there. And I have it syncing with my music, so as the music is playing and the bass is hitting, you can kind of see the lights go along with the beat, which is actually pretty cool, and my son loves it, so I have it turned on there as well. Now my seats, this is pretty simple here. You can turn on your seat warmers here, and you can also adjust the passenger seat right from here. Moving on, for display, I have mine set to light, but you can go ahead and set yours to dark if you want, or you can set it to auto, which is pretty cool. Usually I have mine set to auto. I don't know why it was set to light there, but I'll go ahead and leave mine on auto for now. And then reduce blue light, I have that turned on as well, so you get a little bit of a yellow hue at night, so that way it's not hurting your eyes, you're not straining them as you're driving at night. Again, the brightness, you'll see that here. Right now it's set to auto, but you can see it's at 60%. And as we keep scrolling down, for automatic blind spot cameras, I have that turned on. And for screen clean mode, if you want to put like a screen protector like I did here, once you turn that on, you can see you'll get the screen cleaning mode. You hold it to exit after you're done. It's about 3 seconds, and then you're back in the settings here. Your fan speed, so you can go ahead and change your scroll wheel function here. Mine is set to fan speed. So when you hold the left scroll wheel for a little bit, you'll go ahead and get the fan speed adjustment that I can. But for anyone else, you can go ahead and use fold mirrors, mute navigation. There's a bunch of different settings here that floats your boat. Now, if I keep scrolling down here, touchscreen language, go ahead and change it to whatever language floats your boat. Voice recognition is set to English. Everything else is set to English. Keyboard language is also set to English. Text size is set to standard, 24 hours for time. Energy display, I have it for percentage instead of distance. Distance is in miles and not kilometers. If you're using the metric system, by all means, kilometers. Temperature, Fahrenheit, tire pressure, PSI. And it looks like we're about halfway there. So keep locked in. We're gonna go ahead and finish this video out. That way you guys have the best settings possible once you get your new car. Now we're gonna go ahead and go into schedule, and you can go ahead and see that wherever you are at home, you can go ahead and set your schedule. And then for work, you can go ahead and set that as well. Since I'm not home, obviously that's why I wasn't showing before. But pretty much your car will be ready for the certain time that you pick. And let me tell you right now that this is a game changer. I love this because I used to get out of bed in the morning, go outside when it's like 10 degrees, turn the car on, warm it up, go back upstairs, get ready, and then get back in the car and then leave. Now I can literally just have this set, just get in my car at 7:30 in the morning and go, which is a game changer for me. I love that feature. So you can also do it from the app, but you can just pretty much set it here and you're good to go. Now for safety, again, Sentry mode, you can turn it on here. Auto enable Sentry mode in park. I don't have that on because I don't need it all the time. I usually turn it on depending on where I park. Camera based detection, I have that turned on. Disable Sentry sounds, I also have that turned off. Now, as we keep scrolling right here, again, I don't have premium connectivity at the moment, so I can't see it from the app. I'm testing something out. I'm making a video on if it's worth really having on or not. But if you have it, if you have premium connectivity, go ahead and turn that on. That way you can see it from your phone. Dash cam, I have it set to auto, so it'll pretty much record while you're driving, or if something happens, you have that footage there, which is pretty cool. You can set it to on honk when you honk the horn, or just on manual. Me personally, I just leave it on manual. Blind spot collision warning chime, I have that on. Blind spot warning light on. Rear cross traffic chime on. Allow mobile access turned on. Everything else right now is turned on. Valet mode, pin to drive, glove box. I don't really need any of that stuff now. If I do ever go somewhere where they need to valet the car, I may turn that on, and they have limited access to certain things, and it limits the speed and all that stuff as well. Parental controls, turn that off. But if you did want that on, you can go ahead and set some settings. That way, if whoever you're giving the car to, they have those settings as well. Now for cabin overheat protection at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, once the cabin inside reaches that, the AC will turn on and it'll pretty much cool the car down so it's not burning when you get in the car, which is a pretty cool feature. I have that turned on. And then automatic 911 call, I have that turned on. Security alarm on. Parking assist chimes on. Lower volume in reverse, I have that turned on because I'm a little weird when I reverse, or where I'm getting somewhere new, or when I'm trying to figure something out. I don't like the volume to be too loud for the music, so that pretty much for me, when I'm going to reverse, it lowers it down. I can concentrate a little bit better, and I like it like that. For Joe mode, this right here, honestly, I don't know what this is, but it says Joe mode reduces the volume of your car chimes. Me personally, I don't need that. It says the alerts the driver efficiently and minimizes disruption to passengers in the rear seats, as like kids and stuff like that. But I don't have that turned on. So if you need that on, by all means, go ahead and turn that on. All right, now for service, you'll get a glimpse of all of your tire pressures, your recommended tire pressure, when was the last time your tire was serviced, owner manual, onboard guide, wiper service mode. There's a bunch of different settings here for maintenance. If I click on one, it's going to take me out of the settings, but this is pretty much if you want to know your battery health. But this right here is pretty much where you go for anything service related, factory reset, camera calibrations, all of this stuff I never touch. So this is all pretty much default. If there's anything to change in there, I didn't really have a need for that, but this is where you'll find a lot of service stuff related, towing and stuff like that as well. Now for software, this is where you can get your software updates and everything. Now, I don't have any at the moment, but you'll see sometimes it'll say, oh, you have a navigation update, or oh, you have full self-driving updates. You can go ahead and update here. Make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi at your home, and it'll start downloading automatically for you. And then you'll get a notification on your car saying, hey, your update is ready. Go ahead and click on it, and it'll give you an estimated time. Mine usually takes about an hour from what I've seen for like a major update. Now, for any Final Fantasy VII fans, if you know, Red 13 is one of the characters there. That's what I named the car. But if you click on that, you can go ahead and name your vehicle what you choose to name it. And as we keep scrolling down, Data sharing, for me, I have a lot of this stuff turned off. Autopilot is the only one I have turned on, and then road segment, just because as I'm driving, I want that to get better and I want FSD to get better. But everything else I have turned off. So if you want those on, by all means, go ahead. But for me, all of that stuff is turned off. And the only thing that has access to voice is voice commands, Grok, which I don't really use ever, and FSD there. And then your location, again, a lot of my stuff is turned off for location, which you can see, through all this stuff here. Now for navigation, use HOV lanes. I have that turned off. I don't have any here in Rhode Island, but as I go to Mass, there is, but I don't really ever go over there and use HOV lanes. So I have that turned off. Automatic navigation, I have that turned on. So when I leave work, it already has my navigation to go home. In the morning when I'm going to work, it has that turned on, just because I like to see the trip planner and I like to see how much energy I'm using going and coming from work. Trip planner turned on. Online routing, this has your best like optimal route as you're driving. I have that turned on. Reroute to save, for me, if it's 10 minutes or more, definitely let me know. Avoid tolls off, ferries and highways all off, and then charging third-party chargers, I have that turned off because I wouldn't charge at any third party. That's just me personally. I would only use Tesla superchargers or my charger at home. Now for trips, again, this is where you can see all of your trips, which is pretty cool. And again, you can see your odometer here if you don't know where you can find it in the other settings before. Me personally, I don't really touch any of this stuff, but I am doing a video soon on Aero wheels. I'm buying a few that I want to test out. I want to see what the range is like. So maybe we get more efficiency out of something that's a little bit better, or maybe we stick with the Tesla ones because maybe that's the most efficient. But we'll go ahead and make a video on that soon, so stay tuned for that. Now for Wi-Fi, self-explanatory. This is where you connect to Wi-Fi. Again, connect it. Make sure you're connected to your home Wi-Fi so that way you can get all the latest updates for your home, for your car. Now for Bluetooth, this is where you connect your phone. You can go ahead and actually star it and make it the one that connects every time you get in the car. Me personally, that's what I have is the primary device for my phone, and then when my wife gets in her car and her profile, it'll be her phone there as well. Not much settings here, but reduce fan speed during calls. That is pretty useful. I don't have it on full blast all the time, but so that's why I leave mine off. My settings for my fans are usually between 1 and 2, and it's not really loud at all for me. So all right, guys, so we're landing the plane here. 2 more settings to go in audio. These are the best settings I found for me. I'm not an audiophile by any means, but I listen to a lot of different genres, hip hop, R&B, rock and all that other stuff. But this right here sounded great across the board, no matter what I listen to. So if you want to go ahead and try these out, let me know if they work for you down in the comments. I think this sounds great here. I didn't have to tweak it anymore after I set this that first day. So if it works for you, let me know. I have the immersive sound set to standard. Sync lights, I have that set to go with the music. I'll show you where I turn that on. Commentary for DJs, I have that off. Explicit and allow mobile connect or mobile control, I have that turned on. This is what I have for sources turned on. All the other stuff I don't use, I have it turned off here. But if you wanted to go ahead and, take a look at what I had on, that is what it looks like there. And then for upgrades, again, I don't have FSD yet. I'm probably going to buy it just because I've been using it every day and how phenomenal it is. Again, that video is coming soon. I know some of you keep asking me in the comments, but I promise it is coming. So again, this is where you can buy it if you don't have it yet and you want to subscribe monthly. Premium connectivity, again, I don't have it because I'm making a video on it. I wanted to see how it is with it and without it, and if it's really worth paying that $10 a month. So that is there for you. You have an option to also pay for it yearly, which saves you 20 bucks. You can go ahead and do that there. And for me, that is all I see here at the moment. All right, so to sync your music with the car, you go here to Toy Box, and under Light Sync, you're gonna see I have mine turned on with the music, and it matches the album art color. So anytime your album is every time your album art is changing, you're gonna go ahead and see the lights change with it, which is pretty cool. My son loves it, and me personally, with the minimalistic look of the Tesla dash and everything in your cockpit here, the light just gives it a little bit of a cool look as you're driving. So that is how you turn that on. This Tron setting is actually pretty cool as well. I'll get into that in another video because this was a major update that I got the other day. I'm gonna go ahead and put that together for you guys so you can go see how that looks like. But your toy bags, you have a lot of different stuff here. Light show, so when you get out of the car, it'll do a bunch of different stuff. I won't talk about a lot of this stuff too much, but you can go in here and there's a lot of different things you can do, which is actually pretty awesome. All right, everyone, so that pretty much wraps up my settings video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I want to be the first to congratulate you guys if you just bought a Tesla or if you're looking to buy one. It's been an amazing car. This is honestly my favorite car that I've had over the last 20 years. I have driven a BMW for over the last 11 years. I love that car, but this one right here has been a game changer for me. My son loves it, my wife loves it, and this has been a lot of fun. Now, my full review is coming. I've had it for almost 2 months. It's just I'm a full-time dad. I'm a full-time son. I'm a full-time dad. I'm a full-time husband. So it's just been a lot of stuff that's been going on. But don't worry, these videos are coming. Thank you guys for being patient. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like. Let me know what settings I missed. Let me know what you have turned on. Let me know what you have turned off. Let me know what videos you guys want to see. We're here for the long haul. Thank you guys again for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.